What's up, YouTube land? That Weird Collector here with a review of Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Jhiaxus. And first off, what's with that name, you may be asking? Well, as it turns out, it comes from Generation 2, a specific writer, who used it as a pun to express his dread on Generation 2 comics being cancelled by Marvel. So, it's a pun on Jhiaxus, as in G, fire us. Which is pretty amusing. First off, here is the packaging. There's a nice shot of Jhiaxus there. This is the Canadian packaging, I guess, the Canadian variant with no comic. Damn, Toys R Us cannot get the comic. Transformers Generations up top. Picture of Jhiaxus is... that's going to be weird to say. Alt mode there. The Transformers 30th anniversary logo with a Decepticon insignia. And on the back, picture of Jhiaxus. Pictures of Jhiaxus. Apparently it's a jet. And his bio. Now here is something that is kind of screwy. His bio is accurate to the G2 character. Now if you don't know the G2 character, let me inform you. Jhiaxus, sometime after Optimus, the Autobots, and Megatron, the Decepticons left, he was created through apparently an unregular form of reproduction called... give me 2 seconds. Let me find the exact word. Budding, which apparently is the exact same as in Alien, i.e. he burst out of some dude's chest. And he is apparently a Cybertronian from the Marvel Comics continuity. Or at least the bio depicts him as. And he has the goal of getting rid of the Great War. Uniting everything, I guess, under his rule, sort of. Apparently at points he's been a Decepticon, so I guess that's where they decided to base off his Decepticon symbols. But this toy is not the G2 Jhiaxus. Apparently this is the IDW Jhiaxus, who... I haven't read that yet, but I guess shares traits with G2 Jhiaxus. Now, if it isn't obvious already, this guy's a heavy remold of the Armada Starscream mold. And they've thought of, get this, the weakest excuse for a repaint I've ever heard. He put on some kind of armor that replicated Armada Starscream's new body, who was apparently G1 Starscream. G1 Starscream Spark in a new body, and created this. A very different version of Armada Starscream, and apparently taught Armada Starscream, or you can just call him Starscream, I guess, that he even had swords. Starscream didn't even know he had swords until Jhiaxus had to use his own swords against him. And then Starscream proceeded to use those swords to kill Jhiaxus. Yeah, okay. Why? Is my question, I guess. Let me show you something. Give Give me 2 seconds. Now here is a picture on my phone of G2 Jhiaxus. You see, very bulky and very white, gold, and red. Where out of their ass did they pull this frickin' orange? What's wrong with my camera now? There we go. Lights back on. Sorry about that. Oh, it's the light of the phone that's screwed up, but yeah. The head's pretty good though, from what I've seen, but the only thing I can think of is G2 Jhiaxus' robot mode had the hints of a seeker body. Like the head is his chest. He had a cockpit somewhere. So I guess they took that idea and decided to shit out this robot mode, or this toy. I shouldn't say robot mode. But we're neglecting the point of a review, and there is stats if you want to read them. Let's get to Jhiaxus himself. And if it's not obvious now, it'll be obvious in a second. He is a heavy remold of Armada Starscream. So here's Jhiaxus, and here's Armada Starscream. Now, I can compare all I want and probably bore you with the details, but let me tell you what is different. The wings are different. You can see Armada Starscream has pointy, sleek wings, while Jhiaxus has very bulky wings. And I'm not sure how well he can fly. The cockpit and nose cone are different, obviously. You can see a oval and a slightly teal, metallic teal cockpit with a black nose cone, while Armada Starscream is a very classic seeker cockpit. Very nice. The landing gear is slightly different. Whoops, did I bump the camera? And the weapons are different, which is unfortunate, but I can live with it. And the color scheme, obviously. So Jhiaxus is still orange on gray plastic, while Starscream is red and white and yellow. Pretty Armada accurate. Another thing, the Decepticon symbols. Where are you? I'll get them facing the same way. On Jhiaxus are gray, and on Starscream are purple. In Jhiaxus' wings, they're the opposite way around. I don't think I've ever seen a gray Decepticon symbol before. And there are things that are different that will be talked about in robot mode. So to get to that, it's very simple. So simple, in fact, I'm just going to transform Armada Starscream while I'm talking. It's really freaking simple. But I will mention some differences in the transformation between Jhiaxus and Starscream. Now, down to Jhiaxus. Start, unpeg the arms, fold them down, fold in the landing gear, fold the nose cone back like so, which is the first different bit of transformation. Fold out the legs. Oh yeah, I should actually talk about I guess the jet mode. I like it. It's quite chunky and blocky, as the old Armada design was. I guess the chunkiness fits Jhiaxus a bit better than Starscream, because, let's face it, Starscream always going to be the sleek and slender and fast kind of guy. Well, Jhiaxus is, I guess, a stereotypical powerhouse, sorta. This jet has visible head syndrome. It's right there. It's right there. And almost visible hand syndrome, but what do you get when you fold up a jet, or fold a jet into a robot, is I guess what I'm trying to say. It's unfortunate about that pay nap there, but I've neglected the transformation for too long, so we're just gonna go over it again. Yay! Because I know how much you all love transforming. I know I do. Yeah, come on, get straight out. That's something else that I found slightly different on Jhiaxus is his heel spurs are harder to get out than Starscream's. Never had an issue getting Starscream's heels out of his foot, but for some reason Jhiaxus gives me a bit of an issue. Put the weapons off to the side. They just peg into that small hole right there and line up with this groove to sit flush. Now, fold down the spine. Fold down that little flap. That's going to make it easier. As you can see, you revealed the head. And fold in the cockpit. Fold down the arms. And fold out the hands. There is Jhiaxus in his robot mode as seen on the front cover right there. You can keep them that way. I will for now. And boy, I don't know how they screwed up Jhiaxus this much. This is too slender for Jhiaxus. As nice a robot mode as it is, it's just too slender. Now there are some more remolded bits in robot mode. His knee spikes are now permanently molded in outright pizza cutter, knee to the groin death mode. His chest up here is a lot bulkier and remolded from Starscream. Obviously his head, which if I can get in close to show you. Yeah, looks enough like Jhiaxus. Not a bad head sculpt. With a pipe, I guess, a beard and seeker ears. That's about it for remolding, actually. He looks a bit different due to how he transforms compared to, again, Armada Starscream. Now you can see how different they are. I'm going to put them In the old wing slanted back position. But yeah, I'm surprised at the amount of remolding they did on this guy. It feels kind of similar to a whole Springer versus Sandstorm, where like one is just based off the other's bits, but there's so much remolding that it's a new toy, and I'm running it. Let's talk articulation, shall we? Let's. He has a ball jointed head, which you can get nice and straight. Another thing about my Starscream is his head doesn't like to be straightforward. I don't know if it's something wrong with the ball joint or just his neck, but Jhiaxus, no issues. He can look all the way around. It is a slightly small head, but that's You got some nice detail here. I guess vents. Nice molding on the wings. I guess for that hollowness could have been a place for a sword. His wings are on ball joints, so you can do with them what you will. You can move them that much forward or you can lift up the wing pack and put them like so, or the missile rack, which I'll talk about at the end. Arms, nice foursome of joints crammed in here. You got that movement. I guess that's a fifth joint. Forwards and backwards, bicep, elbow, and a hinge at the wrist, which I hate for swordsmen, and I've talked about, but for him it kind of works. Nothing at the waist, due to his long stem of a spine. I kind of wish they did something at the waist, and I kind of wish they did something to cover up these holes. Ball jointed hips, nice range of motion. He can do some pretty cool stuff. One knee to the groin, and it's all over, man. Thigh swivel. Obviously a knee hinge with a lot of motion due to his hollow shins. And a twosome of toe joints. The forwards and a heel joint for transformation. That's all well and good. Let's talk accessories. Instead of Starscream's 2 Energon blades, even you can call them Energon blades, Jhiaxus has got a couple machine guns. No, not submachine guns, or you can see nice molding, I guess, here. Are they submachine guns? I think so, because there's a clip. There's a bullet clip right here. I guess they're Cybertronian Tech 9s, you could say. I guess they're Tech 9s. I'm not 100% up on my gun knowledge to know what kind of guns these are, but they just go in his hands. I would like to know what kind of guns they are. And while Starscream's lack of good wrist joints made swordsman poses look awful, I say Jhiaxus looks good as a gunslinger. What do you think? I think that looks good. He's just pointing all those weapons out, ready to kill everything. And due to his shoulder, he can do the holding it sideways gun pose, or he can go you can pop it off the joint if you want. Tight bicep swivel. He can be here's looking at you while I shoot this other guy. That's pretty cool. And just like Armada Starscream, he has the double over-the-shoulder missile launchers with friction-loaded missiles. So you're gonna fire by pressing in here and twice, and then missile. As you can see, there are 2 Minicon ports up there. Wow, this video is taking a long time. You can plug a guy like here up there for ridiculousness. You also got the ARM Minicon port, so you can have a shield, which is what I tend to do for Armada Starscream. Overall, this is a very nice remold. I have to say, I wasn't particularly excited for Jhiaxus after I saw Theo's review of him, but I have to say he's quite won me over, and I'd say I'm really enjoying him. As I bump the camera again, thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.